everybody, what's going on? I am very excited for the interview that I have for you today with Alfred Tsui from ICENY. This is the first ever rolled ice cream place in our area. You guys have only been open for a few weeks, and I've been 3 times already.
That's a good thing.
Keep coming back already.
Keep coming back.
Y'all, this stuff is amazing. It's so good, and I hate to blow smoke, but I'm going to blow a little smoke. This is the best rolled ice cream place I've ever been to.
Oh, that's what I like to hear.
It really is.
That's good.
So I want everybody to learn about this because it's awesome, because y'all should definitely come down to Shirlington and try it out. So first, tell us a little bit about the concept about bringing rolled ice cream and ICENY here to Shirlington.
Well, to those who don't know what Thai rolled ice cream is, we take sweet cream and we put it on a cold plate and we chop in some mix-ins like fruit or graham crackers, whatever you like, and then we kind of roll it out, let it freeze, and then we roll out our ice cream and then we put toppings on. As a different way, a different concept for being able to deliver ice cream to people. The concept actually started out back in 2011. It was started by a couple of 3 good friends from Thailand who decided a different way of making ice cream. So they started this concept out in Thailand called iTimpad, and it blew up. You may have actually seen it in some of the YouTube videos back in like 2012.
Yeah.
So from that point, they franchised it all over Thailand, all over Asia, and it did really, really well. So then they decided in 2015, hey, let's bring this to the States. Let's bring this to the United States. Let's start off in New York. And when they came to New York, they're like, we got to rebrand it a little bit. So they came to New York, they rebranded it to ICENY, and then, they rebranded to ICENY, and then it just blew up. Like everyone really, really enjoyed it, and they started franchising it. And we saw the concept, I think, the summer of 2017. We're like, you know what? This is a really awesome concept. We love the product, and we're looking to start a franchise with a couple of my friends, and we're like, this is the right franchise. We talked with them, we had some discussions, we really enjoyed where the direction the company was headed. And then we started looking for a space. We started looking for, where do we put such a cool concept into this area? And we looked and we weighed all the options, we weighed location. Is it near places where people want to eat ice cream after? Like, there's all these different factors and all these different attributes that you gotta weigh. And after like a lot of discussion, we really looked at Shirlington and said, hey, Shirlington I think is the perfect fit. As far as ice cream concepts, there's not a lot similar within this area. There's another one actually in Arlington on the far side called I forgot what it's called. There's another one. But in this vicinity, there's not a lot. So we thought this concept would work really well. And the location where things are, next to a theater and next to the library and all the restaurants, we thought this would be a really good fit, and we're excited to be here.
So I can tell you the first time I saw the sign in the window and Googled it, and I was like, ice cream. Yes! I would talk, as soon as it went up, I would tell my wife, can't wait for that to open, can't wait for that to open, can't wait for that to open. And then the Shirlington Tree Lighting came up, and there you guys were.
Yeah, we know when that happened, I'll just tell Mark before we actually had this interview, we weren't sure when to actually do this grand opening. Do we do it on a weekend? Do we blast a whole bunch of Instagram foodies? We weren't sure how to launch it, but then I remember someone mentioning this tree lighting festival. So we just decided, hey, you know what? Let's launch it on a Thursday, and everyone's going to be there. Let's hopefully it gets well received. And we had a lot of customers that day, and I think people seem to really enjoy it. And the following week, like on the weekend, it's just been really. I mean, for it being winter, pretty happy with the results. I can't complain.
And he's soft selling it a little bit because I was down here at the Tree Lighting Festival, and that's the first time I came. And you guys had to line out the door, literally out the door. And all weekend, every time I came by, you guys
Yeah.
were at least to the door.
Yeah.
If not
Which is
out
good.
the door
I
the
can't complain
entire
about that. I
time.
can't complain.
So there was definitely excitement when it came to this concept coming into the area. So you talked a little bit about what made you guys choose ICNY as your franchise, but what made you want to open a franchise restaurant or franchise food concept at all?
So, my other partners actually opened a Korean franchise, and they were looking to kind of dive into something a little bit different. So, to me, it was a great opportunity to really get into the space and also do it with some partners who had the experience. And and so far it's just been, it hasn't been boring. You know?
It won't be.
It won't be. It won't be. And you learn a lot. You know, when you go through this type of process, it's very interesting. Right? You tend to I don't know if I have the right choice of words. You just learn to do what it takes to kind of to do whatever the process takes to require.
Right.
Maybe we can edit that part out.
Well, what people don't understand about the restaurant industry is it touches on every aspect of everything.
Right.
Like, you've got to know your accounting, you've got to deal with the government, you've got to deal with architectures, you got food vendors, you got to deal with every aspect of every business, legal, insurance, everything falls into the restaurant business, and you've got to get more ducks in a row to be in this industry than pretty much any other industry, and it's crazy.
Yes. So that's actually one thing that I wanted to point out. I'm glad you pointed that out because I didn't know how to articulate it. That's exactly it. I didn't actually know how much was required until I was actually in it. The lawyers, who is going to design your space, to getting approval from the franchise, getting approval from the landlord, and also working with your partners, and then just everything all combined, and then doing it within a time crunch and within a particular budget is very challenging. And the fact that we're open and things are running right now is like, it's nice to see. It's like watching a baby get born.
Yeah.
You see that process happen, and you're like, oh, this is great.
Yeah. Well, I'm very happy to see it because I was excited for you guys to open. I'm obviously a huge fan of the product. So tell us a little bit about the product. Like, what are some of your favorites? What are some of the things that people are trying that are really sticking out to you in terms of the products they're selling here?
So I think the product that is most known for this particular franchise is mango sticky rice. Mango sticky rice is a Thai dessert, but they made it in Thai rolled ice cream fashion, and everyone seems to really enjoy that. And I think that's probably the number one seller within the franchise. Around here, people are chocolate lovers, love chocolate. So we have actually a couple of flavors right now. We have chocolate orange, chocolate peppermint, and banana split. Once those flavors came out on December 1st, those were probably one of the more popular flavors.
Yeah.
The other next most popular flavors, s'mores. One s'more is a very popular flavor, as well as cookie sweet.
It's ridiculous, y'all.
Yeah.
The once more. It's ridiculous. If you love chocolate like I love chocolate, and I love chocolate, the once more is crazy. And I'm definitely going to try the chocolate orange.
Yeah.
People do not understand how well citrus and chocolate go together. I always like to have dark chocolate after I have a piece of grapefruit. And chocolate and orange, amazing. So when I saw that on your wall, I was like, well, I know the next thing I'm getting.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. I was talking with the franchise, the one who's in charge of new products. He told me that, when you go and you develop a new product, you really want to develop something that is really true to the brand and has really good quality. And we didn't want to just cheap out and just add like orange flavor. We actually add in, actual orange. Oranges, we use a lot of different things that are all fresh.
Right.
My words are escaping me. But
Actual orange segments, orange zest,
exactly,
orange rind, all those
zest
things.
was the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
trust the foodie who
Exactly.
eats way too
There
much
you
to
go.
be the one to know all the stuff he eats, right? So what are some of the lessons that you've learned, you guys started this process almost 8 months ago
Yeah.
when it comes to this space? What are some of the lessons that you've learned for opening up a food service restaurant?
So that's I've learned so many lessons. I mean, I can just create a list. I think the biggest thing for me is to have a really good growth mindset when it comes to doing anything, not even necessarily for the restaurant, right? It's like every time you run into an issue, which you will always run into an issue. You take it, you fail as fast as you can, and you learn on it, right? You fail quick, and then the next thing you do, you run into that same situation. If you learn from that, then that's what makes you successful, right? It gets you to the next step. And I feel that early on during that process, you had to learn that really quick, or it's really easy to be depressed,
right?
or it's easy to get to a point where like, oh no, like everything, the sky is falling, But I think once you go through that process and you realize that, hey, adversity does happen, mistakes do happen, issues do happen. You address those as soon as you can, you learn from it, and then you go on to the next step. And I think that's the key, is just to be able to take those things that you learn, move on to the next step, and just keep growing. And then I think as long as people do that, you'll be successful in anything, not even just a restaurant,
Right.
just in life. So
Something I think you guys deserve credit for, we mentioned before, is how you guys jumped on taking advantage of the tree lighting to be your day to open. Like, you guys easily could have done what most places do and say, we're just going to put this off until January 1st. We're going to wait till January 1st to open.
Right.
We're going to make sure we have all our ducks in a row.
Right.
But you had an opportunity.
Yeah.
There were going to be a lot of people around here, and I'm sure it wasn't easy just to say, this is the day we're going to open. I'm sure there were a ton of challenges that came up to open on that date, but there was an opportunity, and fail quickly, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Be open, get open, learn what you can learn. Those 6 weeks that you guys had an opportunity before the end of the year to get some sales, get some data, see what works for you, rather than wait until January 1st. That's something that I try to tell people all the time is don't wait. Implement and learn as soon as you can.
Implement and learn. And I think also, even though it's not the greatest to open in the wintertime, it's a good time to actually improve your processes, especially during the during the week around 11:30 a.m. People aren't necessarily going to come in for ice cream in big droves. You know? I want you to come in. Please come in at 11:30. I love it.
Come in at 11:30. You won't regret it.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with eating ice cream at
11:30. So
it's a lunch food.
Exactly. But it's a good time to actually improve your processes before the summer rush, and I think that's a big thing. We really strive on trying to learn what works and what doesn't work early on as we can, and also what are some ways to improve. Like there's a few things where we just the way people consume our products. Those are things that we have to learn, right? Like the fact that people eat more chocolate than other flavors. Like those are things that we got to learn. So
that's going to be important when it comes to food buying and stocks and all that. Yeah. So I know you guys haven't been open that long, but you've been in the planning process for a while. What are your plans for 2019? Where do you see this going?
2019. I think the big thing for ICENY New York in this particular branch is we would like to expand out into our catering services. And it's weird to say catering services. I guess we could say that if you have an event, we'll come to your event, we'll make ice cream in front of people. And I feel like that would be a great addition to any type of corporate event, holiday event, weddings. It's just something where people just walk around, get some ice cream, and just a little nice little discussion. And there's a show to it. Exactly. Adds a little bit of flair. So yeah, I think we're gonna we would like to go in that direction. And I think for the summer, it's really just about enjoying what this facility in this area has to offer. I know in the summertime they have these summer concert events. We're looking forward to that.
Right outside your door.
Right outside my door.
Will be.
Come on in, please.
There'll be hundreds of kids. That's great for you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also about it's interesting because this area has a very very broad demographic of people.
Yeah.
Like it's not just young kids. It's not just older folks. It's everyone. I've seen all walks of life come in through here. So it's it's interesting because in different areas there may be a lot younger generation.
Yeah.
And for here it's just everything. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of like absorbing everything, take what we can, and then applying what we learn, and just go from there. So.
Well, I think you guys have an incredible product, obviously, and you're in, I think, a perfect spot for you. And I am very excited for your success because more success for you means that I get to come and eat more ice cream.
Yeah, he's really looking forward to the ice cream we're going to make this week. So.
I'm very looking forward to it.
Which one are you going to get?
Oh, I'm going chocolate orange today.
Chocolate orange?
Without a doubt, I've
Okay.
got to go chocolate
Right on.
orange. Alfred, thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you
Everybody,
so much.
please come down and check them out. I guarantee you're going to love it. It's not just incredible ice cream. It's the process of making these things is really fascinating to watch. It's half the fun, I think, is watching it and then getting to eat it. Thank you so much, and I wish you guys here at ICENY all the success in the world. Please come down and try it. You're going to love it, and I think you're going to come back regularly. All right, thank you guys so much.
See you
Talk
guys
to you again
soon.
soon.